that's scary. Yeah, that's scary. Yeah, that's scary.
Top 5 dead alive, only came to terrify. Every topic scary, we can leave the bravest paralyzed. Hope you're not at home alone, better keep the lights on. But if you love adrenaline, then welcome to the fright zone. Willie is the leader, the visionary dreamer. Gerard got the joke, scaredy cat the screamer. You gon' get this work, if you scared, go to church. This podcast is scariest, you heard it here first.
And he said that to me because I was like, I'm just excited that Jeepers Creepers is here. You know, I want to see the character again. But when because he's a huge lover of Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah, that's scary. Yeah, that's scary. Yeah, that's scary. Yeah, that's scary.
Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome to Yup, That's Scary. I'm your host, Willie May, and we have a good show for you today. We got my main man, Kevin, in the show, in a virtual studio right now, holding it down. We're going to talk about movies. We're going to talk about horror. We're going to talk about writing horror movies, and I'm just so excited. So, writing for horror TV and film can be an exciting and thrilling endeavor. The genre allows you to explore the depths of fear and create suspenseful narratives that captive and terrify the audience. This Sunday, we are chilling in the studio with an Emmy Award-winning producer, director, WGA writer, and cinematographer, Kevin Bachar, as he shares with us how he wrote and sold his script, The Inhabitant. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me bring in my co-host, Gerard. How are you, Gerard? What's going on, man? Are you there?
Hello.
Gerard, do your thing, Gerard. There you go, boy. I don't know why you always do this every time.
No. I don't know. My laptop froze for a second. I don't know.
Okay.
Don't you just love technical issue episodes?
So what? Don't you just love lateness? Like, geez, like, boy, today. Let me tell you. No, this is the one thing I sat here and said I would not do, but it's the one thing I did. It's like a nightmare of mine. Like, to oversleep. To oversleep. Like, dude, I work a lot. I do a lot. And last night,
you do what I do. You're working at night shift, basically.
Yeah, and then I'm sitting here and I'm on the computer, I'm working, and I drift off to sleep. And normally I have my alarm clock, or we call each other, or I just get up, you know.
I called.
But this time my phone was on silent, and I overslept. So I do apologize, everybody out there who's listening or watching or coming in. That it was my fault. It's never my fault. It's always someone else's fault. But I take the heat.
You know what? I'm always a glasses half full kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Since you were late, I did get pancakes.
Ooh. So
yes.
you took the lateness at full advantage. Huh?
You gotta be positive no matter what. I mean, I had some pancakes.
Wow. You know what I had? A bag of worms. They were all over my chest while I was in bed because this was the last thing I had. You never done that before? So now I have like sour crumbs like in my bed. It's gonna be great. So yeah. So how was your day? How was your weekend going?
Not too bad. I flip my nights and days like I normally do on the weekend. So I can get back to regular human hours for myself. Go to sleep at 7 a.m.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I work that night shift. I gotta go to sleep at 7 a.m.
Okay.
I actually, which was exciting to do today. I actually was able to listen to a podcast with our guest today, Kevin. Kevin, you just pronounced his last name, and I'm gonna butcher it, but I'm not gonna pronounce his last name. Mr.
Bachar.
Bachar.
Yeah.
So that's
Kevin,
not. And
did I say it right? Thumbs up. Was I good?
we can't hear you.
No, oh my gosh, Kevin, just come on in. What is it?
Bachar, like
Bachar. You know what, Kevin? I've never mentioned your last name before until now.
I know we've known each other for
When-
like 8 years.
Right. You know what? You guys. Okay, let me just throw him in here into the mix since he's here. Our format is off today, but it's okay because we're gonna have a good show. So I'm gonna just remove that, and I'm gonna throw him in here and give him a proper introduction, because this guy is the legend. I'm like, dude. You first of all, let me just say this, you guys. I'm gonna read his bio to you guys, and then we're just going to jump in because I am honored to have him in here. Kevin, okay.
Picard.
Bachar. Okay.
Bachar.
Kevin Bachar is an
Bachar.
okay, got it. Kevin Bachar is an Emmy Award-winning producer, director, WGA writer, and cinematographer. His screenplay, The Inhabitant, starring Dermot Mulroney, excuse me, and Leslie Bibb, was released through Lionsgate. He was a senior producer at National Geographic Television for 10 years before forming his own production company, Penguin Pictures. Since then, he's developed and produced films and series in all genres, but specialized in natural history films. Kevin Films have won 3 Emmy Awards and another 6 nominations, including 2 2011 Primetime Emmy nominations of Jaws, in the Inside Story of and John Belushi. Excuse me, Dancing on the Edge. Let me read that again. 2011 Primetime Emmy nomination.
We could just forget it. Let's move
on.
on.
Okay, all right, sir. I'm so sorry. I want people to know like how significant you are to me, and I mean, because I know the accolades and whatnot, but like you are the guy who just like been killing it, and you can do anything and everything, and so we met back in 2015.
I think it might have been a bit before that, but it's about 8 years.
Yeah, we've known each other for 8 years, and we've known each other because we were working on shows. You were crafting shows for me, and we were pitching it to Discovery and everything like that.
Right.
And we had a blast. I had a blast learning from you and you and Daniel, and just growing and just putting whatever we had out there, and let me just tell you, this man is such a master crafter in television. He could see something like so minute and like, all right, and create a story or create this this huge world that expands into the what if. And
well, we're all storytellers. You do the same, Willie. You see something and you expand upon it. You're able to look at something and go, hey, what else can we do? So it's sort of what we all do. Jared, you probably do it. It's sort of we're storytellers.
Yes, and let me just say this: I thank you for just carrying the vision all the way for 8 years and still accepting my phone calls.
Of course.
Still working with me, still say, hey, let's go about it this way. And he knows everybody in the industry, and he could get on the phone and be like, hey, and just pitch a television, a TV show over the phone and win. And so we're going to talk to him. And what's so beautiful about it is I asked Kevin, I say, Kevin, can you be on our show not just once but twice? And you were like, yeah. I'm like, okay, because you know why? Look, don't laugh, Gerard. You're the one who came up with the idea. You want to do Shark Week. And so I said, well, I know the perfect person who wrote, TV for sharks. It's this guy right here.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have you for 2 weeks. So I'm so excited. So you're gonna be family for you if that's scary. So let's jump in. Let's talk about your
Wait.
what? Go ahead.
I want to ask you a question. This is probably the most interesting thing I've heard about you. You've been inside a pyramid, like in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, the pyramid, the classic pyramids you always see in Egypt, the 3 pyramids right there, right outside Cairo. I did a shoot once and traveled into the center of it to do some shooting. I mean, they're still finding chambers and new things in that pyramid all the time. I mean, it's crazy the engineering that went on into that, and sort of, it's so great because it's such a hotbed for conspiracy theories and sort of all this sort of like stories about it and what it pertains and what it contains. But they are still discovering new stuff about it. So it is a fascinating place.
I mean, that's so awesome.
How did that happen? I know you were doing something. Was it National Geographic, right?
Yeah, I was working for National Geographic, and we were doing some shooting there. So we shot inside the pyramids, around the pyramids. We also shot in the Sphinx. There's a secret chamber in the Sphinx, and we also shot in a tomb called the Dwarf's Tomb, because back then the dwarfs were kind of viewed as sort of confidants to this one pharaoh, and so there was a tomb just for this one dwarf who had sort of attained a certain hierarchy in the pharaoh's court. So we filmed there as well.
That is freaking awesome. I was just looking at trying to get over to Egypt recently. It's on my list. I love to travel. It's definitely on my list. I just can't believe you got the opportunity to go inside. Is that open to the public?
I'm not sure what the rules are now. I think we were, of course, because we were filming, we were allowed access to certain areas that aren't usually accessed. But if you can make it, look, I'm lucky. I got there because of my job. It's sort of, again, my background. Thanks so much, Willie, for all your kind words about my background. But I'm a New York City kid. I'm a product of public schools. Grew up in an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea of traveling to these places and doing these things seemed kind of far-fetched, but it's sort of, I'm living testament that if you dream and you continue working, you can make it happen. Because I said, from Queens in an apartment, was filming in Egypt in a tomb. So if I could do it, anybody could do it.
That's amazing. Beautiful. Do you have a background in like geology or something like that at all, or is it just still writing?
It was I was like you guys. I love films. Growing up, I was fascinated by films and movies and documentaries, and so I went to Brooklyn College, which is a city college. Again, sort of going to the local school there as a TV and radio major, and worked there for a couple. I was in college for a couple of years, and I'm a dropout. I'm a college dropout because I got a gig at Nat Geo. And so the question was sort of like, do I still continue, going to school, or do I, get the job? And so I took the job.
Nice. So you've been inside the pyramids, you've been inside the Sphinx. I've also heard you've been in the ocean swimming with sharks.
Yeah, I did. Filming for sharks. I've done about, I think, 10 or 12 shark films, which I think we're going to discuss in a couple weeks with you guys. Done for Nat Geo and for Shark Fest and Shark Week and for PBS. So I've done a few shark films. Yeah.
Have you had any close calls?
Not close calls. I mean, I've been next to the sharks, but no close calls. Look, they're again, you've heard it all the time. More people are killed by bees. More people are killed by dogs. More people are killed struck by lightning than shark attacks. It's sort of, I tell everybody, hey, you want to do the test for whether sharks are in the ocean with you? You could tell if sharks are around you at any time. This is a foolproof test. All you got to do is stick your finger in the water and then taste it. If it's salty, there's sharks around you. Okay, there's your shark test.
It's funny you say that. I was listening. No offense to you. You kind of ruined my workout last night because okay, let me do some research. I put your podcast on, and it's a little longer. And I was like,
the interview.
I listen to it. I'm sitting on a treadmill, get through that. I'm like, all right, time to hit the weights. I'm like, this podcast is not over with. So I'm just sitting there, test for sharks. Stick your finger in, like trying to do a bench press. Like, man, why is this not pissing me off or not? I'm sitting there now. Like, there's this video of me sitting there, like, okay. Looking like an idiot in the gym.
Well, you gonna put your finger in some water?
Yeah, I tell people that all the time because people are always like, "Oh, should I be scared? Should I be scared?" It's like, no.
Well, they're gonna be there. Yeah, that's their that's their home. That's their environment. Okay, so let's talk about The Inhabitant. So, you started to write this script around when was it?
In 2000. I think it was 2015. I started to write it. Yeah.
Now I know that you've written things before, and you had like a Lizzie Borden type of feel or story. Could you tell everyone about the film just briefly if they haven't seen it?
Yeah, it's about a young girl who's a relative of Lizzie Borden. We find out she's a high school sort of senior, and she's living her life, and she starts having visions of Lizzie Borden, and sort of Lizzie Borden telling her to kill her family and so forth. And the question is this sort of mental illness or is this a possession? And she's sort of confused. And then, of course, some murders start happening around the town, and it becomes a question: is it her? Is it somebody else? Is it a demonic possession? Is it sort of who is it and what is it? So the movie plays out not only as a horror film, but also a psychological thriller, and also as a bit of a who done it, a bit of a mystery. So it's got a nice sort of, it's what they call an elevated horror film. It does have some gory moments, but it's also trying to tell us a little more than just sort of slash and kill.
And this movie came out in 2022, you guys. Check out the trailer. Here we go.
And for you, the most coveted room. I call upon the spirits of this house to grant us a moment of your time.
When she saw what she had done, gave her father 41.
Take my hands, it might help.
Don't you dare touch me, you bitch.
Tara?
I killed you once, so I'll kill you again. It's just a family history. You mean the Borden family curse?
Let's just start with seeing Dr. Sanchez tomorrow.
I'm not crazy.
Mid-teens is when this disease first manifests. And you can be prone to fits of anger.
Stop going in my room!
And violence. Experience multiple personalities. Use different voices. Hear voices.
You okay?
I do think it's interesting that both women are missing.
You don't know anything about that.
I'm not gonna let anyone hurt you. Ever. Please don't do this.
I just don't want you to get hurt.
My gosh.
So-
oh my gosh. So you have Odessa Azion in here as the lead, as Tara. And she's good. I love her. I love her eyes and her facial expression. I love her. She's really good.
Yeah, she was also in the recent Hellraiser.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So when you write the film out, are you also writing the script as well?
That's the script for the film. So I wrote
Okay.
the script and sort of create all those characters and create all the ideas and put it down all on paper.
So you're the one who wrote the line when the woman's like, "Is this an act?" Like, no, this is my axe.
First of all, you had some good one-liners in there. I mean, it gave me chills. You guys, listen. So I was talking to Kevin the other day, and Kevin was like, "Hey, Will, we were just catching up." He's like, "Yo, I wrote a movie, and it was on in the movie theaters." I'm like, "Stop playing, boy! Stop playing!" Because I support everyone. I'm getting excited, and Kevin just does big things, and I just And so when he told me that, he sent me the link. And when I saw the poster, I was like, everything about this movie is giving me life. So I went on Hulu, I watched it, and let me tell you, man, the twists I'm not gonna give like if you haven't seen it, go and watch this film. It's on Prime. It's on Hulu. You can get the DVD. Uh, this movie was so good, and it was like it totally gave me Kevin because I was like, he is so up there. If this movie's not up there, I'm like, what happened? But it totally met my expectations, and I love it. It got what is this 90% audience score, 80% tomato on Rotten Tomatoes right here. Like the film is incredible. It's incredible. So when you started writing this and developing these characters, why Lizzie Borden? Why did you start with that preference? Or
it goes back to what we were talking about before with Jared and you. It's sort of I do documentary films as well, and I worked on a documentary film for the History Channel called "The Trial of Lizzie Borden." And Lizzie Borden was this figure. You hear this sort of nursery rhyme in the trailer we just watched.
Yeah,
that nursery rhyme came out in sort of like the late 1800s when the Lizzie Borden trial took place. So Lizzie Borden was a woman who lived in Massachusetts with her father and stepmother, and one day they found the father and the stepmother hacked to death with an axe. And I mean, not just sort of one little hit with the axe. They were brutalized with the axe. The nursery rhyme goes, Lizzie Borden took an axe, gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41. It's sort of and there are photos. I mean, you can go online and there are crime scene photos from the late 1800s of their attack, and it's brutal. And I worked on a documentary called "The Trials of Lizzie Borden" because it was this fascinating thing. At the time, it was the trial of the century. Like when we watch trials nowadays, that's how it was. And the amazing thing was she was acquitted.
Yeah, it was like right up there with O.J. Simpson. Yeah. Really up there.
A lot of people are like, wait, she's the only one who could really do this, but she was acquitted.
Yeah, and they both got off. So
yeah, and so I worked up. No comment.
No comment.
For History Channel on it, and it was always in the back of my mind because one of the cool things about it, and we kind of featured this in the film, is that her house where the murders were,
yes,
is a bed and breakfast.
Yes,
guys, if you want, Willie, Jared, you guys can stay there.
Yes, Kevin. When you went, first of all, go ahead. I'm sorry to catch you. When you sit there, when I saw it, I was like, are they at the house? Then I was listening to the interview that you did, and I'm like, you went to their house, and we could go there for Gerard. We're going to stay at this house. We're gonna have a day. We're gonna set up our podcast, and we're gonna just do the Lizzie Borden experience. There's a lady that does the story and everything. It's so cool.
Are we going to involve costumes?
Yeah, you could play the dad.
Anyways, no comment.
No, wait. I love costumes. Okay, if we're going to go anywhere, I want to dress up. I want to dress up like I don't know.
I guess you could dress up. I'll just stay in my regular clothes, but you could dress up.
Yeah, I mean, look, there are
a
lot of people who believe it's haunted, and of course, you guys are experts on hauntings, haunted houses, and so forth, and where violent acts take place, where sort of the victims don't have closure. This is a perfect place. So there are a lot of people that claim that this is one of the most haunted places in all of America.
Did you feel anything?
I mean, they
were shooting. Did you feel or see some?
Look, I shot there for the documentary, but for the film, we did not shoot there for the film. That's that movie magic where we actually shot in Tulsa, and we created places that look like Massachusetts and the Lizzie Borden house.
Nice.
But it's one of those things because as a documentarian, I filmed in a lot of places that are mystical or haunted, and so many times it's like you feel something, but is that you're bringing that yourself? Am I really feeling something, or is it me sort of
playing trick myself? Yeah,
tricking myself. And a lot of times these mystical places like Mesa Verde in the United States, or Machu Picchu, or all these places that are mystical, they're also at high elevation, 6,000 to 8,000 feet, and at that elevation, you don't have as much oxygen, so you got a little bit of a headache, a little bit of a buzz, and not a good buzz, a bad buzz. It's
sort of like bad buzz.
Yeah. And so is that what you're feeling, or is it really sort of mystical? So
So do you believe in ghosts?
What was that, Jared?
Do you believe in ghosts?
Do I believe in ghosts? I've seen some things that make me go, what? That make me sort of question certain things. But I don't know. I want to believe in ghosts. Let me put it that way. I want to believe in Bigfoot. I want to believe in ghosts. I want to believe in Loch Ness. But just show me more than just
a footprint,
a green video of somebody's face going, what? I heard that.
Yeah. And Kevin, you've been everywhere, so I mean, I kind of trust what he's saying because he's been to Europe. He's been in the deep blue sea. He's been everywhere to see too. So
one of the coolest things I heard about you doing is you were in a middle of a snowstorm. You drove up in a snowcat and you went and stayed in like a weather tower and you were stuck.
That was Mount Washington in New Hampshire. It's considered the world's worst weather. One of the highest winds ever recorded was up there, 230 some miles per hour. It's up at 6,000 feet. Once we were put up there to stay at the weather observatory up there, you're stuck. You might as well be on like the moon or the bottom of the ocean. You really can't get down. And that's one of the places where some weird, strange stuff happened. But is it sort of like, was it because we're at 6,000 feet and we're trapped and you kind of feel weird, or I was I really seeing things that I thought I was seeing? And part of it was like, oh, I thought I put that thing over there and it's now over there. And it's like, again, is it because you're tired and it's at 6,000 feet and you're kind of forgetting things, or did that really move from there to there? Because more people have died up there than any other mountain in North America. More people have died either hypothermia, falling off cliffs, plane crashes than any other mountain. So it is this sort of epicenter of sort of death. But again, it's sort of like, am I seeing things moving? I mean, I had crazy nightmares up there, but is it because of the lack of oxygen? I'd lift up a case, and when I went back, I thought I left the case open and it was closed. Those things happen. So there you go.
There's some spooks up there.
I mean, it makes perfect sense. Your blood's working differently up there in those high altitudes. So it's affecting your brain right there. You ain't getting good enough sleep because you're probably waking up more. You ain't breathing right. Higher elevations. So you're not producing memories correct because you need sleep to produce memories.
Right. Yeah.
So you probably just short-term memory loss. You forget you shut the case. That makes sense. See, ghosts ain't real, guys.
Yeah. Well, what about you, Jared? Do you believe in ghosts?
I hope there's things like ghosts and stuff out there because I find them interesting. But also, I challenge ghosts and demons anytime I can. I've worked in hospitals like mental psych wards before, late night, and this place has been open since like the 1940s, and there's a ghost in this room. There's stuff going on in this room, and I'm at third shift, I'm like, I hear, and all of us at this facility challenge it. My coworkers throwing clipboards at me because I'm just trying to challenge the ghosts. That's what I do. At 3 a.m., what else are you supposed to do? Do your job? No, I'm challenging the demons. So I want that stuff to be real. I want proof, and I'm going for it. So I challenge any ghosts, any demons. Call you out. Sign the contract.
So I'm safe and sanctified. So I do believe in them. I do believe that they exist, but they're not gonna harm me, and I feel like I'm protected all the way. So. But writing this script, my question is for you, Kevin. Do you have multiple scripts just sitting there as you write through one? You kind of pause and then write through another.
There are moments. A lot of times, like with this, I was so in tune to it, and I kind of had the story in my head, and it all kind of made sense. I kind of just worked on this, and a lot of times, scripts take a long time, but this seems so clear and the storyline and the characters, it took me about a week, which a lot of screenwriters will go, what are you talking about? How did you write it in a week? But it was just so clear and sort of the story made sense. Now, again, that's the first draft, and then you rewrite it. And then, somebody reads it and another producer reads and says, I like it, but what if you did this? And you're rewriting and rewriting and rewriting. I mean, you guys do writing, it's like writing is rewriting.
Right. Yeah. And so when you wrote
first,
Go ahead,
Continue,
Gerard.
Willie. No,
No,
this
I
is your
said
question.
when you wrote this draft, and you gave it to a peer to read, and then you find corrections, and then you do it again. Was the storyline always the same, or or the arc of the storyline was always the same, or did you like start changing characters and plots? Did you have to like restart all over, or was it always this girl named Tara that was experiencing these? Okay,
it's a good question, Willie. Yeah, this one kind of stayed the same. You know, there are minor things here and there, but it pretty much was the same from beginning to end. It sort of maybe add this scene, lose this scene, stuff like that. But the arc and what happened and who did what and how, it kind of stayed the same. You were going to ask something, Jared.
You said you get the script done in a week? I know it changes, but that happens with everything creatively.
Right.
Did you feel like you're able to get it done so quick because you did the documentary beforehand, so all your research kind of done? You had a more in-depth knowledge of the source material?
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. You nailed it. It's sort of because I had this history, I knew about it, I knew about her, I knew the story, been to that area. It helped immediately sort of craft everything and kind of make the story go. I do a brief outline, and by brief outline, I mean I just write like, okay, this happens here, this. I don't do. A lot of people do detailed outlines and post-its and this and that. I'll just write like a half a sentence, like murder happens beginning, this happens, terror on field hockey team, and I put them in the order I want, and then I just sort of thread them together.
Nice. I like that.
So you said you wrote it within a week. I'm sorry, Willie.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. No, your screen to me keeps freezing, so it looks like you're not saying anything. But go ahead. Yeah, just like that.
So you wrote it within a week. You wrote it within a week. How many times did you rewrite the script or revise it? And then how long did it take for it to be like, okay, this is the end feature? Like so we got a week now.
Yeah.
I
when
mean,
did you kind of quit?
It's sort of like, the thing is, you never call it quits, because even when it finally was the producer purchased it, and there were then changes from there, and changes because the director had some suggestions, and then there are changes because, hey, look, that's a great scene, but it's not in our budget. It's sort of like, we're not going to be able to do that. Can you take some of the information that's happening in there, some of the emotions that's happening there, and put it in this scene, because that's going to save us a half a day shoot, and so forth. So the script isn't always changing, always malleable. It's a living document.
Yeah, you also said it's interesting you said that, because you said once they buy the script, they could change it all. They changed the title. The original title, what was it? It was like
Blood Relative, and then it was The Relative, and then when the producers bought it, they went with The Inhabitant. And again, it becomes theirs. It's sort of their once they purchase it, it's their document. They own it.
How much different was it from the original script? Like 1 to 10, like 10 being it's completely changed, a whole totally different, unrecognizable, to 1 being exactly for what it is.
About a 9.5. It was almost exactly what it was.
Wow.
Oh,
yeah,
that's good.
From when I gave it to the producers to what we shot, it was very, very close.
And you wrote this specifically to be a lower budget or a smaller budget horror movie. Not a lower budget, but an affordable caustic script to make. Like you said in your interview I listened to, you can't write the next Dune. Not everybody can write Dune. That's a $40 million movie.
More. Dune is like, I think, in the hundreds of millions. It's sort of like, it's sort of like for any screenwriters out there, sure, you might have that idea, and you can write it, but it's going to be really rare that somebody's going to look to you to write that film. It's sort of, look, low budget horror does well. It translates.
Yes, it does.
Wants it. It's sort of like, it's sort of, it's something people love. It's sort of, and to be honest, the largest movie going audience, sort of, teenagers and up to 20s and 30s love horror, and it's a great date night to take your date to see a horror film and so forth. So I purposely went out to write a horror film that could be done on a smaller budget with limited locations and limited cast. Yeah.
And you know what, that was when I heard that was so smart, because he's writing something that could get shot, and he's writing something that has more of a chance to be bought from a studio house. So you guys, if you guys are going to write a horror movie, you know, don't go and build these crazy characters. Don't go and build these crazy, you know, worlds and this, that, and the other. Build something that can get shot, which is really, really a strategic way of getting your film produced or your script produced. And to me, that's just, you know, amazing. When I heard that, then it allowed me to think back about Blumhouse. And when I was with Blumhouse, that's the same thing they did. They were like, okay, it's going to be low budget. That's how we do it. That's our method of madness. Low budget and in a house. If you look at Blumhouse movies, they're always in a house, because that to rent that house to shoot it is a little bit cheaper than going to that studio house that's, you know, in LA or in Atlanta. So that's really cool that I saw, you know, I saw that that I heard the interview, and it totally took me to a place. And you know, Kevin, you're just a genius, you know, and I'm so glad to know you as a friend. No, I say that because you know how to work and navigate through this. When you first had your script out and it was getting shopped around, how was that feeling? Did you feel like it was going to land in someone's pocket, or do you think it was just one of those things you're just going to, you know, do a Hail Mary and see where it goes?
I thought it had a chance. Look, it's, as you guys know, I mean, you guys are movie guys and love films. It's sort of the chance of getting a film made is really, really rare.
Yes, it is.
So you write it and you immediately think it's never going to get made. But the film, which was called Blood Relative at the beginning, did well. There are certain film screenwriting festivals and screenwriting competitions, and it did fairly well in those. It was always rising to the top. Won a couple of those, got me meetings out in LA. And so there was always interest. There was always, I did a number of meetings where people were like, hey, we want to do this. And of course, things fall apart. You know, it's sort of, you get it to a certain point and things happen that drop it down for all different types of reasons. But from the beginning, there seemed real interest. It really spoke to people. People really got it. People really sort of responded to it. So after that, it started to get a feeling that, this might get made, you know, because it does hit a number of the things that will make a film get made in terms of lower budget, interesting characters, and horror. Horror is big.
That's so awesome. That is so cool. Let's look at you have some clips here. So you guys, this is movie magic at its finest. Like, I love seeing production clips, you know, and you know, I watched the film, of course, and then going through these clips, you know, just excited me, because this is like a behind the scenes, you know, up close and personal of everybody.
This is our director in the checkered shirt. That's Jared Lauder. That's Dermot, and you can see us all with the mask. We shot this in the height of COVID. We shot this when COVID was, you know, basically shutting down every feature. And we shot this in Tulsa. And as you were saying, we shot it on what's called, you know, practical sets, where we were renting houses, you know, Airbnbs and so forth. So we were shooting on location in houses that we dressed in, and a production design to make look like the houses that were sort of described in the script. So this was sort of the crew. Again, you're seeing everybody wearing the masks.
That's so, I'm tearing up, Kevin, over here. This is great.
Yeah. You know, that's from the Video Village, just a little behind the scenes. That's what you're watching the scene on. That's what the director's looking at.
He's a great actor, man.
Yeah, Dermot. You know, Dermot's one of those guys where he's in everything. He was in David Fincher's Zodiac.
Yeah.
He was in one of the Insidious. He's been everywhere and on everything. So he's one of those actors who's just really great. He's now become this sort of horror guy.
Scary berries.
Yeah, scary.
I love it, dude. That was just, if you look closely, that was just printed and put on a box. Isn't that crazy?
No, that's you know, there is no real Scary Berry, you know, cereal.
Right. I love it.
But you know, and that's the main character's house.
This house is so beautiful and well lit for a scary movie.
Inside, yeah, and we shot inside there, and it was dressed up for Halloween. There's like a hanging ghost and so forth.
Nice.
And that's our stunt performer, and she's one of the victims, and so you're seeing some of the makeup from one of the attacks, post-attack.
Wow. Now, were you guys really outside of the forest, or was that a set? Because that looks
that's outside. Again, no real sets. It was all practical, all out on location.
It kind of reminded me of a hocus pocus type of area, but that's really cool. I like that.
We shot in Tulsa, Oklahoma, because of the tax break. So we found it. The producers found a great spot that kind of had that New England feel. So you know, watching the film, you're going to think you're in New England, but we were filming Tulsa, Oklahoma.
That's crazy.
Maybe we have some prosthetics. Some prosthetics. You know about this stuff, Willie. So some of the stuff to put on over the face to simulate the scars and the attack. You see a hand there. You see one African-American hand, because we had an African-American actor get attacked, and then you see that's where that you see it there, and another with a hand. Then you see on the next one, you saw the cleavage where one of the actresses gets cut right over the yeah.
I love that. Oh my god.
Is that Skeletor?
It could be in the
yeah. That's so cool.
Just showing, you know, the extent of lighting and what you have to set up to just do a simple scene out in the backyard. You know, it's you're not just taking a camera and shooting. It's all these lights, all these fills, all these screens, just to get that shot. And the amount of crew, you know, you have 30 to 40 people behind the scenes all the time working.
And this is on the streets?
Yep, right on the streets. You know, we'd close the street down and do some shooting there. And he's using what's called a Ronin, which gives it that steady cam look.
Nice. There's Kevin. Hey!
We're just outside on one of the sets there with Dermot. He was a great guy. I mean, the cast was great. The crew was great. Everybody just stellar in terms of all working to make the film happen.
Yes.
And there's Leslie Bibb on set with the stunt baby. We did have a real baby, but of course, as you know, there's limits as to how much time a real baby could stay on set. And so there was.
She was so good in this feature. Oh my gosh! Like, I'm not gonna tell you guys, but you guys gotta watch this film. Oh my gosh, I love her.
Yeah, that baby's going down set for like what, 2.5 hours?
I don't even think it's that. I'm not sure. So, you know, a lot of times there is a real baby in certain shots, but again, it's the prosthetic baby on others, you know, where you're just using sound effects and having the actors sell that they're holding a baby. And there we are. That's one of the last days of shooting. Because I also did, I was on, a lot of times the writer isn't on set, but I was on set because I shot the behind the scenes, which if you watch it on, I think on Apple, there's a behind the scenes you could watch. And I did the still photography behind the scenes as well. And that's because I work in documentaries, so I was able to.
So you got the gig on the gig.
Yeah.
You got the gig on the gig. Come on, Kevin. See, this is why I'm telling you guys. The man's a genius. I don't care what you say. Kevin's a genius.
So
Go ahead, make that money.
I was shooting the behind the scenes. So, because again, a lot of times the screenwriter is not on set, but I was lucky enough to be on set.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. And again, you're seeing the prosthetic there, and then you're seeing me with one of the prop axes. And again, that axe looks so real, but it's literally just foam. You know, you would think that I'm holding a real axe there, but it's, you know, the prop department is amazing, and that they create that foam axe that just in case you made a mistake and hit somebody, you're not gonna do any damage. Yeah.
So here's the question: what prop did you take home?
I took home the sign that says the Lizzie Borden Bed and Breakfast. I have that.
Nice. Woo!
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah. That's good.
Now, were you supposed to take it or were you not?
I was gifted it. So I was looking to take something and they gave me that. So that was really nice. Yeah.
I would have been the same way. I'm like, I'm going to take something, you guys. You better give it to me. And but that's so cool. Yeah. That's awesome. So how was it? Tell us your feelings when this is now up. You got the actors. You're shooting it. How did you feel?
You feel pretty amazing because you're there and you must feel the same way, Willie, when you do a haunted attraction. It's sort of like it's like you realize, wow, everybody's there because of you, because of what you've done. It's sort of like, wow, there are 40 people working. Wow, this is going to like create even more work for people in post-production. And you go like, wow, that's just because of what I wrote on paper, you know, a few years back, putting words to paper. So it's a pretty amazing feeling. It's surreal to look at it and see that happen. I mean, if any writer could have that feeling, you know, I wish that to everyone, you know, to have that feeling once in a time.
Beautiful.
So you wrote in 2015, you got her done. And I'm guessing what year did it get picked up? Like we know production was what, 2019, 2020?
Yeah, so it's
COVID.
not in
2021.
So again, this is the sort of how long things take. I wrote it in 2015, and then we shot it in October 2020, and it wasn't released 2 years later. And the reason it wasn't released 2 years later was Dermot. What happened was we had a COVID shutdown in the middle of the film. And so Dermot had to leave because his schedule was, you know, he was only on the set for a certain amount of days. He had to leave. So certain scenes that we wanted to shoot with Dermot, we couldn't. So we had planned to shoot it after when we got back in LA to shoot with him. But he was booked. He was on one film to the next film. Then he had a beard for one film. So we couldn't have him, you know, with the beard and so forth. So it took that long for us to be able to do the reshoots with Dermot. So that's why we finished shooting basically the end of the year 2020, and it didn't air for almost 2 years later.
Now, explain to the ones that don't know. Reshoots are when you have to, you know, you shot some things, but maybe you've missed some things. Maybe the continuity is not right, and you got to reshoot again. Am I correct?
Yeah. Look, sometimes people are doing reshoots because things aren't working, and you know that's not going to work, or we need a new ending, or that scene is terrible, or maybe you had a technical problem. Our reshoots were, again, because certain scenes that we needed with Dermot, we couldn't do because of the COVID shutdown. So that's why we did our reshoots, was just to get Dermot into 2 or 3 scenes that we sort of missed because of him having to leave the set.
And on the business side, I believe every actor has to sign a contract saying that they have X amount of time for reshoots, or like you have to say like you commit to some reshoots just to finish the
that's
film.
Usually, that's usually put in.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, when it comes to the writing side, were you involved with the you said it changed about like 0.5%. Did you help with that rewriting of the new scenes, or what was changed? Was you involved in that rewriting?
Yes, and that was because I was on set, and so like I think I told you before, sort of sometimes it was, hey, we're going to have to kill this scene. Can you make this happen? Sometimes it was sort of an actor saying, hey, what if we tried this, or this isn't feeling for me. So I work with them to craft something. And then on the reshoots, writing some of the reshoots, changing things, because we weren't shooting in Tulsa anymore. So we were shooting in LA. And so we had to change a few things because of the difference in location.
Now, when you said an actor comes to you on a line, maybe let's say the line just doesn't fit, or they just can't say it naturally. Is that what that is? You're going to craft a line that's for them?
Look, when you're working with these great actors like Dermot and Leslie and Lizzie Broadway, who was in it, and Odessa, they really inhabit. See what I did there?
Yep.
They really, you know, inhabit the role. They really become part of that character. And so there are certain times where like they might, hey, I don't know if I would say this as this, or now that it's sort of like you respect that and you work with them then to find the right line that works with them with that character.
Yeah, it's so funny because I feel like I'm a great collaborator. You know, I like to collaborate on projects, and film and haunted attractions and you know, anything that's entertainment is a collaboration. You have to work with other people. You can't just mine and hold on to it. Like, no, this is a collaboration, and that's what makes it beautiful. You know, that's what makes it art too, because you can bring a different spin that can create a different, you know, outlook that I wasn't looking at, you know, or I may have overlooked. And so, do you feel like you know, collaboration is key when working on these projects? Do you think that you are a great collaborator? And then how do you collaborate with other artists and, you know?
No, Willie, you nailed it right there. Willie, you nailed it. It's all about collaboration. And it's sort of like, look, it's one of the only art forms, not to get high class, but film is one of these art forms where it can't be done alone. It's sort of, you have to work with others. Look, a painter can just paint by himself or herself in a room. A sculptor, she can just chip away and create that art by herself. A singer even can stand on the stage and just sing by themselves with the instrument, and they're alone. But filmmaking is totally collaborative. It's sort of the cinematographer, the editor. There's so many people on the set. You're all working together, and you're all coming together at once. It's sort of like it is a total collaboration, and you have to be willing to work with people and enjoy working with people, and be open to people's suggestions for film to really work.
Right. Now, since this movie is a horror film, was there any horrific things that happen or situations or drama that you could dish out here on Yep, That's Scary?
Well, there wasn't. Nobody got hurt or anything like that. Look, the horrific situation was when we got shut down for COVID. When somebody,
that was it.
Tested positive for COVID, and what was horrific about that was it was a false positive. So we shut down. We shut down for a week and lost Dermot, our primary actor, and had to do the reshoots, and it was all because of a false positive for COVID. We were, you saw us in those photos with the double masks, and you on the set you had different zones, where somebody had to wear one mask, two masks, and and so when we tested positive and it shut us down, that was horrific,
Right, and at that time, it was at the brink of it all. So you have new rules, new regulations, CDC's changing. It keeps changing, and you guys are just navigating through. We don't know what's going to happen next, but and then you take this test, and at that time, the tests were faulty. They were coming up with so many tests, and then the strands were moving and developing and evolving. So it must have been a nightmare. But I'm glad that this film surpassed all that, and that was a horrific story. It's COVID was a horrific story.
I think COVID was great. I think you and I were in Kentucky when they were shutting down Kentucky. We were like, we gotta leave, we're about to be stuck.
We were in Kentucky and they were shutting down Kentucky. We had to run out of the state to get to Tennessee just so that we weren't.
Wait, what are you knocking Kentucky? You had to get you were terrified of being trapped in Kentucky?
Well, the thing is, we went to Kentucky to pick up some props and stuff, and it was our first time there, so we didn't know what was going on. But like the hotel and everyone, they're like, we're shutting down now. Like the governor just they put a big shutdown, and it was at the it was on the cuff of everything just going bonkers, and we didn't know, and we were driving. So we either would have stayed in Kentucky for more days and just paid, just to live somewhere, or we just had to go. So we just left. But that was crazy.
That was a crazy time. I mean, it sort of. I remember at the time there was this viral sort of clip of Tom Cruise going off at a crew member for not wearing a mask.
Yes. I mean, people take serious.
He was in the right. He was totally in the right, because it's sort of like, all you need is that person to test positive, and then the film gets shut down.
Right? And you have to understand, he's a producer too, so that's his money. So I understand that. Well, this was a treat having you on the show and have you talk about this. If I was a writer and I wanted some help, or if I need some inspiration, what inspiration could you give a young writer today?
Young writer, old writer, middle-aged writer, any writer. Look, the first thing is start writing. It's sort of don't put it off. Start writing. It's one of those things with anything we do in life. It's so easy to say I can't, I won't, or I'll do it next week. So just start writing. Second thing is, whether you're writing novels or you're writing screenplays, read what other people have done. See what the benchmark is. See what people are reading. Understand what's either getting sold or being made. And so those are two simple bits of advice that anybody can do that'll sort of get you going. So that's my advice.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for the time. We really appreciate you. This time it's our guest final thoughts, where we can we put you on and you could tell everyone where to find you, what's going on, what's next in your down your pipeline, and all that good stuff. Are you ready?
Sure.
All right.
Hey, I'm Kevin Bachar, screenwriter. I'd like to say if you want to follow me, I'm on Twitter at Kevin Pangolin, or on Instagram, Kevin Bachar. So just keep a lookout. You can see what I'm working on or what's coming up. We got a couple Shark Fest shows airing on Nat Geo, and a couple other features coming out in the coming years. So keep an ear out, and thanks so much for listening.
Awesome. It was a treat having you on the show. Thank you so much. Next week, we got Kevin again on Shark Week. We're going to be talking about Jaws and all, just the deep blue sea. You have the balls, the cojones, to take your camera and jump into the to the pool, into the ocean with them. So we're going to talk about that next. Go ahead.
Where do you suggest I go diving for sharks? Because I want to go in a shark tank, like the cage. I've looked at Florida, off the coast of California, all the way to South Africa.
Well, Jared, where are you right now? Are you in Georgia? Where are you?
Denver.
I'm in Tennessee.
Oh,
You're
Tennessee. Sorry.
I was there for like a week.
Yeah. Florida's close, right off of Jupiter. There's some places. Look, you don't have to do it in a cage. You could do free diving. You'll be fine. Swim with lemon sharks. You would?
No. I want great whites. I want
great whites. Okay, well,
Oh
if you're looking for great whites, then right now probably your best place is either South Africa or Australia. You know, if you want to be in a cage with a great white. Yeah.
Go ahead, be turkey meat. Enjoy. All right, Kevin. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, whatever. We see you next week, Kevin. You have a good one. Thank you so much.
You guys were great. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, he was great. Oh, that's my dude. That's like my number one producing dude that I go to, and so blessed to have him, to know him, to be in his space, to call him a friend. And he's an Emmy Award winning. I mean, it's just won 3. You know what I mean? Like, he's the man is awesome, and I'm so excited to have him. And then for him to write a horror movie, I was like, you killing the game, bro. So, and hopefully one of our TV shows will get sold to a network this year. So we're praying, crossing our fingers. So yeah.
So we're doing Shark Week next week, right?
Yes, we are.
What movies are we watching in preparation for Shark Week?
Ooh, I kind of want to. First of all, I want to watch the Jaws, his Jaws documentary. I want to watch Jaws. I mean, what do you guys think? Should we be watching? If you're viewing this now with us, in the live show, what movie should we watch? Because you got Meg 2 coming out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Meg 2.
Yeah, Meg 2.
We ain't talking Meg Griffin. We talking Meg like Megalon.
Why you said Meg Griffin?
Family Guy.
I know. But we have but I don't know. I kind of want to go to the classic. I mean, I got this awesome Jaws poster right here that was given to me for my birthday.
You need to hang that up for next week.
It is. It's right here. I have it right here, right in front of me. It's awesome. It looks good. But anyways, I kind of want to go to classics, or I want to go Deep Blue Sea. Well,
I love Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a really good one. I enjoyed that one.
I kind of want to watch, like, this might sound stupid, but I want to watch some classic Crocodile Hunter, like when he's swimming with the sharks and stuff.
That's you know what? Yeah, you know what? Steve Irwin is. Look, Molly says the classics. I'm thinking the same thing. Steve is great. I love him. When he passed, it was hard for me because like I felt like he was the only thing that I could like live through when touching an animal and whatnot. So
you know what's funny? Well, it's not funny. It's sad. I was such a big Steve Irwin fan, Crocodile Hunter fan, that I could remember. I was homeschooled all my life. I woke up that day and Mom's like, I had to tell you something. And she's like, and I'm like, what? Steve Irwin died. I'm like, what? Yeah, he was killed by a stingray. I didn't do school that day. I'm like pretty sure we didn't do school that day. I was so upset.
Mm-hmm. He was beloved by everybody
because it was always my dream to go to the Australian Zoo and
you
go
know what?
see.
And you're an animal guy as well.
Oh, I love it. People get that confused. Just because I'm a hunter does not mean I'm not an animal guy. I love conservation. I love animals. Everything about it. Animals are wonderful. I'm not lying. I'm looking to go into a shark cage one day. I'm afraid of sharks. I want to face this fear. I'm afraid of heights, so I've been skydiving. Demons and stuff kind of scares me a little. Ain't gonna lie, but I'm gonna challenge them.
No, if a demon take a table and toss it across the room, you'll be scared.
Yes, I would be, but I'm gonna be in that room with frozen. Because you got to face the fears. Don't sit there and let fear hold you back against anything.
Would you
face your fear.
Throw a table across the room so it could accidentally cluck you in the head? No,
I don't want to be hit by
on that.
Ghost.
I'm swinging on him. I'm swinging on him with some holy water on my hands. I'm swinging on him.
What if they're a holy ghost?
If it's a holy
ghost, the ghost of the Pope.
If he's a holy ghost, he shouldn't be throwing no chairs. He should be blessing me. Blessing me.
That was an interesting guest though. Like he's got, he's done some cool things. Like it was almost like, man, let's not talk about haunted houses. Let's talk about what the fuck you did. You stayed in a weather tower. You stayed in a weather tower. He's been in the pyramids. Yep. He's been in the water with the sharks, and not the pussy shit like I'm going to be doing in a cage. He went like, all right, here's my Dasani.
Right. Oh yeah. First of all, Molly faced her fears skydiving recently. So Molly and Jose went and they jumped. They did the big jump up down in Florida, and you could go to Molly Z social media and check that out because it's awesome. But yeah, like bro, when I first met Kevin, first I was like, I'm just trying to understand the production. I'm like, oh, okay, and Daniel, his right hand man, he was a producer. He was like crafting me and like trying to get me through the process. But then when I started to get to know Kevin, I'm like, dude, like you're like the guy that takes the camera and tells people, and you'll be like with lions, and you'll be like with hyenas and elephants, and you that guy, and he's like, yeah, and I'm the producer and I'm the director, and there are I could have a camera, but also I could be the one that's telling, seeing things transpire in the jungle. And let me tell you this, when he's doing documentaries, it's like it's not crafted with a script. He can't tell an animal to stop, cut, and action. No, he has to sit there and just film it, and so he always puts his life in danger. And so that's why when you hear him say these things, it could be numb to him because he at that point in time, I had to do it. It was work. This is what I want to do. I love shooting and documenting animals, and so it's just crazy how people can adapt to their environment. And then the one thing that is scary for us is not to them. So he's a cool guy.
Doing some research for this guest, you sent me that podcast he listened to. He drew a picture and wrote a note. He's like, I want to film with sharks one day, and he's doing it. And I'm like, that was
he's
badass
doing it. Yes. So let me just clarify that. So when he was a kid, he drew a picture, and when he was young, and we should have brought this up, but he drew a picture, and it was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he drew a picture of him shooting and documenting animals, you guys, and now he went and he got the opportunity to work with Nat Geo Graphics, and then he jumped for it. And then from there, he started to learn how to have his own studio company or producing company to start producing film and selling the content to the big networks out there. And he did it. I mean, Discovery loves him. And let me tell you this, Discovery, when I was in the meeting with Discovery Channel, someone else who actually like crafted Discovery and built Ghost Brothers, they had a meeting with me, and they're like, "Oh, Kevin, we know Kevin." It's like they know each other, and like they worked with each other for so long, And so, to hear his name, and he's so renowned in the film industry. You may not know him. You may have just sat here and listened to him, but I know him, and I know that his name is very renowned and in the industry, and people respect him and love him, and he's an Emmy Award winner. Gosh darn it, you don't win 3 Emmys, and it's, you know what I mean? It's this is cutthroat.
We went so off topic. We were trying to figure out what shark movies to watch this week.
Oh yeah.
He also has another shark movie coming out. He has another one coming out.
Oh, okay, so we were going to talk about it next show, brother.
Yeah, some of my questions I had written down for him was about sharks and stuff.
No, that's
You
next
know,
show.
I know, but it was like I was like, and then we were talking. I was like, oh yeah, this is the guy's going on for Shark Week. Oops.
Other
Now,
guys coming up.
now, why don't we have a crocodile and alligator week? That's disrespectful.
No, because bro, don't do that to me. Because you literally said, "Let's have Shark Week." I'm like,
no. I'm talking general. I
our
get why we have Shark Week, but why don't?
Who wants to do that mess, bro? Come on now.
Crocodiles are cooler than sharks.
But Jaws, come on, listen. Jaws
Lake
was
Placid.
our first. You said you're Placid. What?
Lake Placid.
Okay. Just making sure. What about it?
No, I am Placid, but Lake Placid.
You so stupid. There you go again.
Well, you don't get what y'all don't get to see. You don't get to see the lower half of me. I'm always bricked up when we do. Yep, that's scary. I just love the passion of horror. Every time we talk about someone's head cut off, it just wait. That sounds bad.
Shut up. We still got people live. All right. My mom listened to the show. Okay. My mama listened to the show. See.
Hello.
Oh, have mercy. Okay, here it is. Yeah, so you should get shot. But yeah, we have Shark Week happening, and I think people like anyway. Shark Week next week, at 2 p.m. you guys. So I will be on top of this one. But check them out. It's Shark Week. It's That's Scary Shark Week. Thank you.
That's a cool
Thank you.
graphic.
Thank you. You can say it again.
In the left. A lot of dead space in the
because it's for the show. You get on my nerve.
So we're definitely doing Deep Blue. We're definitely doing the Jaws movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to skip Jaws 3D. I think we both agree on that one.
Yeah, because we don't have 3D.
I haven't seen Meg yet. I think we should watch Meg. I think I might watch Meg.
We can watch Meg. Yeah, it's out. I just want to say this, you guys. Go to check out The Inhabitant on Amazon, on Hulu. It is
Apple has a special features.
Yeah. Oh yeah. On Apple. On Apple, they have the behind the scenes. So check it out, you guys. It's one thing. I forgot to have this background up. I think I was so late. I just totally forgot to put it up there. But yeah, man, I'm really thrilled to have him on the show, and it was a good one. So so you guys, I just want to say thank you so much for the time. Thank you, Gerard. Also want to say thank you to our guest, Kevin, for being on the show and giving us and gracing us with his time. He's probably going to go write more stories and movies. He did talk about, and I'm just going to say this. I'm not going to mention the movie, but his movie, his shark movie, was just purchased. Okay, recently, and they're about to shoot it soon. So again, and this is something that I think That's Scary needs to go on set. Why not?
I mean, why not? Do I get to swim with some sharks?
I'll throw you in. What the fuck?
Fuck it.
Anyways, so next week is our Shark Week. That's Scary. We have Shark Week. Shark Week is happening on Discovery Channel. Also, it's happening on Shark Fest is happening on Nat Geo, and I just want to say thank you so much, Gerard, for having fun with me and talking to Kevin. You did a great job today, and
you know what? If they need a fat redneck to get eaten by a shark, I'm your man.
You're the one. You're the one. I know.
Hit me up. Come on.
I will. I'm going to keep you first in line. And then also, I want to say thank you to our viewers
for the movie.
What? I know. I can
talking for the shark movie.
I can make these happen.
Made you sound like you just want to feed me the sharks.
That too. I can make it happen in real life and you know what I'm saying? So don't play with me. I got pool too. Do you understand? Anyways. Okay, anyways, what I was saying, I also want to thank our viewers that are listening with us live and that are listening live. That you're throwing me off, bro. I want to thank our listeners listening to our podcast at home, work, and driving in transit. We appreciate you for your love and support. Please remember to follow, like, subscribe, and share our social media accounts so we can continue to engage while building a horror family. Until next time, guys. What are you doing?
No.